Patchalong 6.0. This is block number 5. For block number 5, it's the center block, so I seem to always like to quilt a medallion style block. Turn a 9 patch into a medallion, why not? I'm going to have some fun today. I'm going to use the mini 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler and the Sway 5 machine quilting ruler. I might incorporate a few more. We'll see as we get down there. But let's hop down here to my machine. I am quilting here on a panel that I purchased from Honest Fabrics. If you'd like to quilt along with me on the same panel, make sure you do purchase the 50 by 60 inch size. And we do have a piecing pattern available if you want to piece a quilt top like this on our website. And last but not least, make sure you do check out our companion design workbook. In that, we've included all of the designs and we've brought back my favorite QR codes. So when you scan that with your smart device, it takes you right to the videos where I show you how to do the quilting. So anyways, you can check that out on our website. This is machine quilting with rulers. Whenever you're doing machine quilting with rulers, make sure you have a ruler foot on your machine, and also make sure that you have a machine quilting ruler, and all of the ones that I'm showing here are available on our website. So let's hop down to the machine. To create this medallion, I'm going to actually start here in the center and mark from there, kind of plan my design from there. So I'm using the disappearing ink marking pen here and the straight side of the Sway 5 machine quilting ruler. And I'm first marking an X through the center. I want to quilt a circle around the outside of this X, so I want it to be a little bit bigger than this center block. So I'm using the hook end here of the Sway 5 machine quilting ruler and lining up the marked lines on the ruler. So these lines down here on the hook end, they indicate the center. There's a T and also an X. If I line these lines up on the X I've marked, then I can mark this curve right here, and that will be the exact curve that I can use this circular end or this concave end to quilt. So the possibilities with marking and quilting with these Sway rulers really become endless. So I'll just rotate that around and mark. This is just giving me an idea of the circle, exactly what size it will be that I can quilt with this ruler. So I am liking the idea of that. To continue building, now I'm going to mark a straight line here through those outside blocks. I'll find the center there and mark a straight line coming out. And I think I'm also going to continue this diagonal line coming out here. Thinking I'll use this curved side of the mini 4-in-1 and quilt a point-to-point curve. Just giving it kind of like a flower fill. And I'm pointing like here to here. I'm going to want something else through the center, so maybe I'll mark the center point on each of these. Now let's see, that second line, I think I'll like that just a little more. Ooh, I really like this. I'm going to mark 2.5 inches coming in from the corner on each of these corners. Okay, and now I think I'll quilt a curve. That. And I think I'll quilt that center line too. think I want to also, you can see this is how my designs work. There's definitely a lot of just planning as I go. So now I'm using the Sway 3, the hook end here, lining up those same markings. So like the X and the T on my marked lines. And I'll quilt a 3-inch circle right there in the center. I really like that. So I'm not sure that I'm going to stitch in the ditch on out here. So I think I'll start quilting right here and work my way around. All right, so like I did with the marking, I'm going to use the mini 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler. I'm going to work kind of all the way around the outside, but let's start with this one. And I'll stitch those point-to-point curves. Remember, whenever doing any machine quilting with rulers, you'll want to use gentle pressure. Okay, now let's switch. I'll use this circular end of the Sway 4 to quilt that outside curve. And I'll stop with my needle in the down position. I'm going to now use the concave side of that ruler to stitch back there to that inside point. All right, I'm going to keep working now. I'll work down here and around. So let's switch back to the 4. All right, so I've stitched all the way around the outside now. Remember, I marked another line going on the inside, so I'm going to stitch that one. I'm also going to stitch a straight line up the center of each of these petals in the outside corners. Okay, I'm actually going to stop and cut my threads at this point because the circle for my 5, well, the circle that I'm going to quilt here with the Sway 5 doesn't attach to any of this, so I will stop and cut my threads. So now I'm going to use the circular end of the Sway 5 and I'm lining up these marked lines through the circular end, like the X on top of the X, and I'll quilt around that circle. And I'll stop and readjust the ruler. Because I have marked those lines, I can just readjust and hold the ruler down here a 1/4 inch away from where I want my thread to intersect. And then I'll adjust my ruler again, line it up on those marked lines, and complete this 5-inch circle. love it. I love the way it's looking. Now I'm going to quilt one more circle here, and again, I'll cut threads. I love how this block turned out. You could always dress yours up, you know, if you wanted to add a heavy fill to the background, if you wanted to add more fills to the inside, really the sky is the limit. But it's so awesome to see what the possibilities are with the machine quilting rulers. Okay, I say it all the time, but creativity breeds creativity. I love what I did with the hearts, so I'm actually going to do another version of those hearts for block number 6. We're already almost to block number 6. But before I do that, I will quilt my sashing again using that tumbling block design. But until then, have fun quilting.